Welcome, everyone, to the Subject 4 podcast. We're a fan-made podcast about the Project 863 series here on YouTube. It's almost like an escape room. We have to collect clues and theories and help our characters survive the evil corporation called Syntech and the evil scientist, mad scientist named Nelson Cyphus.
Subject 4.
Today, I have the wonderful Shades with me.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thank you so much for having me. This is really cool.
I'm so excited that you're here.
I am excited to be here.
You're also a mod on Reddit, are you not?
Yes, I am a moderator for Matthias Submissions and Behind 863 on Reddit, as well as I am a moderator or host over on Spellbound Plus.
Do you have any other projects that you're working on? I know you're a writer.
I'm a freelance writer in my spare time. And what that means is basically I will work for anyone who pays me. But I mainly do sports writing. I write a whole page sports article, websites like Fight Booth or Wrestle Talk. They'll message me and say, hey, we like your piece, but we only want these specific portions of it. We'll pay you this amount for it. And that's basically how it works. They pay me, they pick out a paragraph and say, we want this one. Here's the dollar amount we'll give you for it. As far as creative writing goes, I'm trying to transition more into creative writing. I am working on something. It's going to be a part of the 863 extended universe. I've finished chapter 1 so far. I have this really bad habit of I will start with the ending of a story and work my way backwards. Like I know how I want the story to end. I know how I want it to progress to that point. But I really have a hard time figuring out how to start it and get to that point. So that's a bad habit I have. But I'm working on that. So hopefully that'll come out within the next month or so. It's going to be a short story.
That's interesting. Well, I'm really happy you're on the podcast with me and that we get to kind of shout out your projects and especially shout out the EU universe. I know I didn't know much about the extended universe until I became a Spellbound moderator, and then I met all you guys. It's got to be fun. I wish I had the time to do some writing, and I actually knew how to write. My dyslexia and the grammar, no, doesn't work.
But that's the fun thing about writing. It doesn't have to be proper. As long as you write it, then it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be this daunting task that you undertake.
On the internet where all the grammar trolls are.
I don't care.
I get it all the time just posting on Spellbound. A warning about this podcast. We break the spell. We raise the curtain because there are clues to our story in the BTS and behind the curtain. Though we do know that Matt, we do know that he will probably slip in red herrings. I do not put that past him. So we take everything on the BTS videos with a grain of salt. Like we don't take it as gospel truth. We're going to plug it into our theories. If it strengthens our theories, great. If it disproves our theories, again, great. Because our theories are just basically guesses. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just all guessing together. So I just wanted to make that warning. If BTS is not your thing, Raise the Curtain not your thing, there is an episode that we have up, I guess, starring Matthias. He stays in character the entire time, and there is no Raise the Curtain there. So if you want to stop and just watch that episode, that's totally okay with us. We understand that. I've been seeing that there are a lot of like the Twitch streamers that were on this platform. They were here last week. They do not do BTS. They go directly of what's off of the episode. So check them out. They're on twitch.tv/we are subject 4. You can find them there. They usually stream a couple hours after the episodes. Even if you listen to the podcast fully, still head over there because the conversation does not end at this podcast, does not end on Spellbound. There are many opportunities to get more theories, because if you have more theories, then you can develop a better guess as to what is happening with our characters. So I just wanted to put that up there. So yeah. So we'll go ahead and dive into this episode. Like Shade said before we started recording, there's a lot here, right, Shade?
It's really, really a lot. And I mean, to imagine everything that's happened in the past 2 episodes is, I feel like you've done a complete 180 in the storyline. We're all together, we're all happy, we're all a team, we're gonna stop this evil supervillain, and then in 2 episodes you go from that structure to, okay, we're not gonna team up anymore and we're just gonna split up, and everything seems to be falling apart for some reason.
Let's go ahead and go through the show beats here. The episode starts with Matthias and Quinn discussing Woods and Sam's decisions. Matthias does not think that the antidote would work on the Phantom anymore. He does not trust them enough to lock the antidote in the vault. They leave to go to the coordinates. They don't tell Sam and Woods where they're going. They kind of wave to Bailey and Chanel in case like Sam and Woods happens to kind of walk by. They can tell them that they've gone to their coordinates, but they don't physically go to Sam and Woods. Matthias does not think Sam will return the antidote. He thinks Wood could destroy it, but he does not think that Sam would return it. Not even like by herself. She would have to like persuade Woods, and Woods wants to destroy his. So he doesn't think that Sam will actually return the antidote. They arrive at the Iron Horse Trail and look around for a bit. They even find some underwear, and Matthias picks it up. I don't know why he picks it up.
That was my favorite part of the entire episode.
He's in his like, I thought was a mask. Why did you pick it up? Like,
exactly, like no matter what it was, why did you just pick it up off the ground with your bare hands?
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Yeah. After looking a while, they find a rusty box. It's lodged into some rocks. It has the 863 logo, because at first when they pull it out, they have no idea if they found the right thing. And then as soon as you see the 863 logo on it, you know that they got it right. Inside the box, there are 2 things. It's basically a box inside of a box. And inside that box is a gigantic vial of serum. And it's red, not blue. So it's red. They find an envelope with some ripped up documents, and sensitive one from Syntech. There are comments on it reading, "How dumb do they think I am? It's likely a trap. Be wary. Don't trust the tape. Remember this." They also find a periodic table and some notes. They return to the studio and they find only one blue antidote in the vault and a brand new Syntech VHS tape. The missing antidote kind of shakes up Matthias. He runs downstairs, asks Bailey if Woods and Sam are in. Bailey says that Sam and Woods haven't, they returned a while ago to put things inside the vault, but then they left again. And the documents that said don't trust the tape also had Syntech Location 3 on it and talking about Project Pegasus. When Matthias asked Bailey where did they go, Bailey says they said something about Location 3. That's where we ended.
A lot of interesting happenings.
It did feel like a short episode because there wasn't a lot of action. I mean, there was a lot of information. Basically got dumped with information.
And we were talking about this before. You have your action episodes, and then you have your information episodes. This was definitely an information episode, and there was a lot of information.
Yeah.
But what we do with it is the question. What does it all unfurl into? What does it mean?
I'm going to go down the science route, and the first scientific thing that they pulled out of the box was the periodic table of elements. Joshy said they also found the chunky serum.
The super chunky serum, that is a lot. If you look on the bottom of that jar, we were talking about this earlier, it says biological material on the bottom. That has we've never seen that on a serum before. So why does it appear on this super chunky serum?
Yeah. We're talking about Syntech. Syntech is a bioweapons company. So basically, they're using life in destroying life, if that makes sense. A serum would be classified that a fungus. We have seen a fungus before, a black fungus. We're also looking at gases like in aerosol form. Those are the bioweapons. Venom could be venom, maybe. We do have a bunch of snakes on the emblem. Could be venom. It could be a type of gas, a type of fungus. We have clues to all that. We know that the Phantom wears a aerosol mask. We have snakes on the logo, and we've seen fungus. I think of biological, and where I'm thinking about bioweapons. Those are like the three main things that pops into my head. Is there anything else that you saw that intrigued you?
Well, the periodic table, when he pulled it out of the envelope, the main thing that you realize is it's half of a periodic table, and there are two things that are circled with question marks above them, and it's carbon and neon, which are neon is non-reactive. It's a gas, pretty much. It can be a liquid, but it's a noble gas mainly. And then above it is written something, a stabilizing agent. I have the
It says stabilizing
key with a question mark. And the main thing to take away from this is it's half of the periodic table. Where did the other half go? There's more than likely there's more information on the other half of the periodic table that we are missing.
The Science Babes did some research because I was just so overwhelmed with basically all this data. And I asked them, I was like, why carbon and neon? And I'm thinking that they're supposed to work together, carbon and neon. And I have no idea why they would even work together. But they basically just took both of them. Neon can be used in a clinical setting as a diagnostic tracer gas in a gas analyzer for a lung diffusion test. So it can also be used as radiotherapy in various cancers, but those are still under studies. Now, carbon, this one was interesting. Carbon could also be gunpowder.
Yes, it can be. Yes.
So we saw a lot of gunpowder in an RV, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So, and we're looking, like, what does it say again? It says stabilizing key. So we're looking for we know that this serum is unstable because we saw the experiment with the plastic lid bin that it melts right through. We've also seen it combust in flames, though I have to reiterate that there are 3 serums that we're dealing with here, and potentially a 4th one. We're dealing with a clear serum that Matt found up in the vents and then found in the wall that had heat signatures, and it was also radioactive. That is what Sam dropped down the stairs. Woods tried to clean up, and it burst into flames, was the clear liquid. We find this red liquid that actually has a label that says life's blood on it. Yeah. And then we have this blue serum that says counter agent on it. And then there might be a 4th because the Phantom said something about they don't have the prototype.
The prototype.
Now, this could refer to another serum. Someone did reach out to me on Spellbound, and they said that because I kept thinking it was 4 serums. But somebody reached out to me. Let me give him a shout out. Who was that? I will put it in the chat. And if you guys want to go follow them on Spellbound, go give them a follow because they sent me this theory that it could be something different than just like a prototype. That could
Right.
mean anything. We just automatically assume a serum, and I hate assuming things. That is why you probably noticed that I don't call the Phantom Wesley. I hate assuming things because I kept thinking we were talking to Nelson Cyphus all in season 1, and I would hate for like, I mean, every Occam's razor. Okay, if anyone who's familiar with Occam's razor would say that the Phantom is Wes. I would give you that. But
I also do not call the Phantom Wes for reasons that I'm not going to discuss because I'm being suppressed. But
he's building a theory about it. Here is the name if you want to go give them a follow. They're on Spellbound. How would you pronounce that name? It's in the podcast lounge.
Vercotur?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
That yes.
Vercotur.
I don't know either. He said that the prototype we have run into some kind of mechanics. We do have that thing that's on top of the roof of the studio. We also have okay, here's another theory. Deb said that she is confined to her human limitations, and then all of a sudden Matthias, Samantha, and Woods are talking to her through an AI. Did she meet those human limitations by building herself an AI who could do the work while she needed to eat and sleep and do everything that a human needs to do that would take her focus off of work? Did she build this AI for that? So we have this AI. We also have this machine that we don't know that does stuff. Those could be prototypes as well. We've also have so many old computers.
Right. There's so much old tech. It could be something to tap into that. There's so many things it could be.
Yeah, and we keep assuming serum because that's what we're looking for.
I do tend to think that the prototype is the serum. My theories are more of the science fiction nature. I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more science fiction stuff, especially at the end of season 2, the beginning of season 3, because once it came out that the series is actually fiction, it opened up a whole new world of possibilities for storylines and plots and things that you can do. But what I think about Deb, Wesley, and Nelson specifically, I don't think that Deb, Wes, or Nelson, I don't think that any of them exist in the current Project 863 timeline. I don't think they exist in the current timeline that Matt, Sam, and Woods are in. And if you remember when they were talking to Deb about the serum and Project 863, she said that this timeline will work, insinuating that there are multiple timelines. So that would mean that if the base timeline is where Matt, Sam, and Woods are, that means that the timeline has skewed off into multiple timelines. And I think that Deb, Wes, and Nelson are from an alternate timeline.
So are we talking about like a multiverse type of thing?
I don't think it's a multiverse theory. I think a multiverse theory would get too messy. Time travel seems more relevant here to me because with a linear timeline, it's all one time. But when you go back in time or forward in time, whatever little action that you have, it affects the timeline and causes a skew, or a term that we've heard a lot that we don't understand. Time itself will splinter off, causing a new timeline to generate. I think that Wes, Deb, and Nelson are all from an alternate timeline and have come back to the Project 863 timeline multiple times to try and fix this problem that they have.
Just to catch everyone up, where's the term splintered that you're talking about?
Splintered. If you go into the evidence list, I'm trying to find which one it was. Here it is. Where it says
C12 003.
003. Lost motor skills, splinter. And that's a term we've heard several times within the series, is splinter. We don't really know what it means, but when I hear the term splinter, I automatically think time travel. I don't know why. It hits me that way. And it would make sense because when you travel through time, you are splintering time itself, basically. You're splintering your being into billions of atoms and then rejoining it in an alternate timeline.
I do have to say, Anthony Shamrock, me and them are like on the same wavelength right now. They said like wood or when bone breaks, like because I'm thinking medically,
right,
that it would be splintered. But what is splintered? In medical terms, it would say like splinter, fracture, right humerus.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they would put. So it is interesting. Like it kind of supports Shade's theory, splinter. Like, what does that mean? It does say if you're looking through the evidence trying to find what we're talking about, it's C12 003, severe adverse effective forms. And it is filled out by Dee herself in 1997. In the brief description of nature of effects, attach some details if necessary. And it says lost motor skills, splinter. And then category of SAE, a disability incapacity. So basically, they're disabled now because of this environmental test. Because it says right at the top, it's a protocol title, which is a environmental test, site number P. That's not a number. Though, if you look at the other ones, like I'm going to jump over to F-9-008, severe adverse effective forms. It says environmental test, site number Pegasus. Again, that is not a number. We do know from this episode, it talked about Syntech important announcement paper in the evidence. It says, we want to share with you a very special announcement from Syntech location number 3 regarding our very own Project Pegasus. So Project Pegasus is being built at location 3. There is kind of an assumption that location 5 is the studio. We're working under that assumption that location 5 is the studio. Location 3 now, this unknown location, is the site that they tested Project Pegasus. Now something just popped in my head while I was saying all that. Sorry. We don't know the location number 3.
This is a location that we've never heard of before. This has never been introduced before.
We don't know the location of it, but yet Woods and Sam are going there.
So that would mean that the VHS tape that they left in the vault must reveal where Syntech location 3 is.
I write a bunch of questions when I am watching the episode. They talked about a patient B5187 that they had to amputate. Well, if you go into the patient list, let's go to the patient list. Again, this is why you need to get Spellbound Plus and get the 863 Plus. In the patient list, if you look down, each patient number starts with a letter and then 863. So patient B863 5187, and we're looking for B5187. His name is Mark S. We do have some more details. Let me pull it up about Mark S. It's not much, but I mean, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think it's B-3-010 is the injection test form for that specific patient.
What was it again?
It's B-3-010.
010. Okay.
Yeah.
We do know the patient name is Mark S. ID is B5187. Blood type is A negative. Allergies none. Specific status unknown. Phone number redacted. Medication oxymorphone. Amputation pain. So they're giving them oxymorphone, which interesting choice
It's a
for
very interesting choice.
for amputation pain. That is some of the information. Let me go back to the evidence list that we have. And you said 010.
Yes, B-3-010.
It says
Amputation.
to prevent spread.
Right.
Location of serious adverse effects, lab 4, that checks out. That no. So lab 4, this person is not even with the same lab site as Project Pegasus.
No.
Allergic reaction at injection site, amputation. Intervention to prevent permanent impairment. Was study intervention discontinued due to the event? No. Wow. We amputated your arm, but we're going to keep going with this.
Yeah, we're just going to keep studying what happens.
What medications or other methods were used to treat serious adverse event? See number 6, which was we took the arm off. List of any relevant laboratory test history, including pre-existing medical data, NA. Type of report, initial. And this is signed by D, March 2nd, 1997. So there's a lot of information. Okay, we're going to open up the stage. We'll pull up XD Dragon. Just start in the beginning here. Hey, welcome.
I'm still digging for more information, so I don't really have anything right now. I only raised my hand to talk about Matt because I feel like Matt right now he's doing what, he's okay. I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with doing what he's doing.
I totally agree with you. I do think he is angry, but I don't think it's not in irrational anger. I think it is rationalized. It's completely rationalized. Another thing is that, it's rationalized that Woods has gotten hurt under his care, and now the team's losing faith in him.
Yeah.
And so anytime that you're a leader of something and people start not listening to you and start questioning you, and then questioning your motives, and then questioning every single thing you're doing, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because we clearly know he has the team's best interests, because that's why he wants to keep the serum, is for the team's best interest. And they're sitting there and they're questioning his motives. And I just find that I don't see, like Quinn, he totally was fine with Quinn this episode. There was no irrational, like, it's not like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde that Shades over here thinks.
Don't start with me. Don't do this.
Okay, well, how do you explain it then? How do you see sinister Matt right now?
It's what's happening in Matt's own mind is he's becoming obsessed with the Phantom and ending this all. He's losing sight of the goal. The main goal is to collect the serum and stop Nelson Cyphus from getting it. But he's losing sight of that. He's becoming obsessed with confronting the Phantom. There's path A and path B, and he has skewed off into another realm of.
But you would think that stopping the Phantom would help you get in the serums, because the Phantoms always seems to be one step ahead of them getting the serum. So if you stop the person who's ahead of you, if you trip the person who's winning the race, there you have a better chance of winning the race, right?
Yeah.
But that's really out of character for Matthias 863, don't you think? I mean, especially when they were chasing the Phantom in the car, the whole time Matt knew that he had placed a tracker on the car. So why are you tailing the Phantom, putting everybody at risk if you know there's a tracker on the car? Like
because he said in his own words, I don't need to track him. He's right in front of me. I can see him with my own eyes.
Instead of wasting time, he could get it done way faster so that it won't, be that long to get things done. And not only that, the path he's going, he's going to undiscover a lot more. Like, for an example, now we have an idea on who the Phantom could be. And not only that, we have 2 new vials that was brought up. So I'm down to go with Math any day because the way he's going, he's unwrapping a whole bunch more quicker.
I find the tactical response would be a lot more effective. I just feel like he's losing his judgment skills. He's making rash decisions. He's putting people at risk. And I think
any war general though is going to come across that kind of dilemma.
Right.
And he's at war. It's not like, oh, the Phantom broke in. What does he want anymore? It's now the guy broke in and hit Woods upside the head, could have killed him type of ordeal now. We're not dealing with season 1 problems anymore. And so we don't need a season 1 Matt anymore.
The only thing that I don't like about it is that he's rushing it in too quick. He's not second.
Yes,
not thinking,
he's not thinking
get straight.
Yeah, he doesn't have a straight train of thought. I feel like we're going to see that progress more and more and more over time. And eventually everybody's going to lose complete faith in him.
Yeah.
And he's saying, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to lead. He feels like all of this is on his shoulders and it's contorting everything in his mind to where he's tunnel visioned on not the main goal, but on skewing off and confronting this Phantom when that's not what he needs to be doing.
But if you put it this way, the quicker he confronts the Phantom, the more he could solve. And because don't forget, not only is the task to get the vials and stop Nelson, but if you think about it this way, him constantly going after the Phantom, he's stopping somebody that's helping Nelson, therefore putting Nelson back a step. And putting them forward a step.
But I feel like the thing that everybody's forgetting is what Deb said, is even if you deal with one Phantom, you cut one head off, 2 come up in its place.
Well, true,
so
yeah.
I feel like that's the wrong road to take. I feel like do what Deb says, put your faith in Deb, trust her, collect the serum, do what you're supposed to do. Avoid this guy at all costs. Don't interact with him. Just do what you're supposed to do.
But yet Samantha wants to go back and deliver the serum like she's a Postmates driver.
Right. Which is no. So, Sam's wrong. And I'm sorry, Samantha, if you're watching this or listening to this, I'm so sorry, but you are dead wrong. I'm sorry.
I agree with the Shades. I feel like you're 100% wrong. One, because for all you know is that not even an antidote at all. That could be like a better version of the serum, or that could help the serum, so it doesn't like hurt. You know what I mean?
It is because it's a counter
like a numbing. Yeah, it could be like a numbing pain to stop the side effects. Like, let's say one of the side effects is you get a whole bunch of rashes. For all you know, that blue serum could be to cause it to where you don't get the rashes.
It could also be, so let's say it's a super soldier serum, but they give it to the Phantom. Phantom is now super soldier, but he also has like crippling pain. This counter agent could take away all the pain. And now we have a fully fledged super soldier that doesn't feel anything now. We could make him 10 times worse.
Exactly.
And I know that we had an argument earlier about the it's a counter agent antidote. But again, if it was just a complete antidote, it would say inoculant or antidote. It would never say counter agent. Counter agent is counteracting a symptom.
And it's kind of it's strange because it's confusing is what it is, because if you look up the definition of counter agent, antidote is one of the definitions that's listed.
Well, it
But
is because most counter agents are curing something. It is curing something, but it's
But
not
not
curing
it
all of it.
right.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you. I feel like they're mislabeling it as an antidote, which it is not. I don't believe, in my opinion. I don't think it's an antidote. I believe you're correct in that sense. It is what it's labeled as. It's a counter agent. It's not an antidote.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
for
it would
example,
also say vaccine on it. It would say, well, it would say an inoculant vaccination, whereas this is just counter agent. And to
It just
me, like,
alleviates the symptoms.
exactly. And
well,
then
it
now,
alleviates a symptom.
and then another example you could use is both of the serums, the clear and the red serum, shows that it melts and burns through stuff. For all you know, the blue stuff could make it not burn through the stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Valgal, I don't think he would. Valgal says that, can we also talk about Woods' side? Because I think Woods would get rid of the serum by injecting it into himself.
I don't think any of the
I don't
team would do
yeah,
that.
I don't think
After they've seen what it does, I don't think they would do that. Not willingly.
The only one I can see ever taking the serum is Matt.
I would, and I believe it would be out of sheer curiosity if he was
It
ever
would
pushed
also
to that point.
be. It would also be Phantom. It would have to come down Phantom versus Matt.
It would.
And I can see
Yeah.
Matt taking that to protect his team.
Yeah.
And then not
And
only that, another theory behind that whole blue stuff is if that is an antidote, that could be him trying to create an antidote.
That
Yeah.
could be the prototype for all we know. We don't know,
Well,
you know.
From this episode, I believe that the prototype is probably a stabilizer for the serum. That's why he was messing with the gunpowder in the RV, because in the notes it said stabilizer and then question mark carbon and neon.
Yeah.
So
Or it could be that I had the thought that the prototype could be a serum that you don't have to continuously inject. It's like a plug and play type deal. You inject it once and it does what it's supposed to do.
yeah.
Because we have seen the effects of, I mean, he's running all around trying to find the serum just to stay alive. He looks disheveled and worn out. His lights out on his mask. The tubes are becoming disconnected. And I believe he's trying to just make a serum that is a once and done deal, so he doesn't have to deal with that anymore.
So interesting. Anyway, thank you so much, Dragon, for your theories. We'll go ahead and call somebody else up. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day and keep posting on Spellbound and stay curious, okay? Juju, I'm going to go ahead and invite you to speak. There you are, Juju. Hi.
Oh my god, this is my first time. I'm sorry.
I know, I'm trying to call on people I know haven't had a turn. So what do you have for us?
All right, so this is the new episode, right? Okay. What Matt just found, that whole giant bottle, I don't know how many milliliters is that, but if that has to the close amount, I think he said 16, that 100, right? Well, if they need that amount, that has to be maybe half a gallon, my guess. And so depending on how many serums they have left on the computer they found, Sam and Woods, they both left together. That is somewhat suspicious to me. Maybe the United First Forces, or they left separately. They probably found something doesn't add up to me. There's a lot of serums left, and I think that there are other serums. Like how we're supposed to mix some that Wes was saying how they're supposed to mix some serums. I think there are different serums. Like maybe the clear one's out there, more of the blue one could be radioactive. I just think there's more serums. I feel like something's missing in the serums. That's my theory.
So you think we're not that we're missing so much quantity of the serums, but we're also missing other serums.
Yeah, like maybe the program is scanning that maybe Wes has created more. because he said the prototype that also could, if it's made from lice blood, it could also be radioactive because it could also be scanned, unless it's like a whole record system where they programmed it, put it in there.
Well, we do have other projects that we know about. We know that
Yeah.
Project Pegasus. We do know in the evidence. Let me see here. We've got the Project J9873.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have other projects, and maybe Project Pegasus is another type of serum.
Yeah. And also, I want to hear, if this is possible, I want to hear your take on who, I'm assuming the person with, like, on that van was Wesley. Who was he talking to? Who do you think he was talking to? Because I don't think it was Nelson.
You don't think it was Nelson?
I feel like there's somebody, a middleman, something like that.
I have to tell you that I have been I've been a little obsessed with the Phantom's phone call.
It's just that phone call. It's like it's loose. Like they haven't addressed that phone call. Like who was it?
Yes, and by the way, if you isolate the parts of the Phantom talking, he has an accent.
Oh, British.
Yes, he's British. He is British. What are you groaning over there? Are you listening to it, Shades?
Yeah, I'm listening to it, and this is where the frustration comes in for me, because I feel like the music is overlaid purposely on top of the vocals to try and hide the Phantom's voice in this scene.
Mm-hmm. And he also says the words like, he says "sir," and the way he says "sir."
Yeah, he does. He does. Yes, sir. He says "yes, sir,"
and then he says "beforehand." I can't tell you the last time I used the word beforehand.
Beforehand.
Yeah, this sounds very proper English. Like,
yeah, my English teacher is British, and she uses that word a lot. I'm just like,
yes,
man,
he's British.
Yeah,
he's definitely British. Who the Phantom is talking to? Matt says he's talking to his boss. I know it. Like, again, when you run into a problem or something happens on a task that you have been asked by a boss, well, what do? You go to your boss. Instead, our team thinks we're just gonna ignore our boss. So the Phantom has more sense than our freaking team. Anyway.
Who made Deb the boss? That's the thing. Like, Matt's the boss.
She sent them to do a task. Therefore, you're the boss of said task.
I wouldn't say she's the boss, but okay.
With the organizer.
Okay. Should we take a vote and put you on the ballot?
Ooh. We could say I
would say no. I know him way too long. No. Shade, President Shade, no.
Yeah, let's do
you
that.
Can't be the boss. No.
I want to be the boss.
You just boss the foam around, okay?
I will.
Don't
worry about that. I got the foam under control.
Shade, would you like to be the boss of Subject 4? Yeah, because clearly I'm Deb. I can't be. I'm out. So
I don't think Shade could handle us all.
I don't think so either. No. Vote Shade.
I want to see what happens next. Like this Syntech Location 3, is it called?
That's where 3. Sam and Woods went.
I know. I'm assuming what's going to happen next is Matt's going to call them, head over there. I just hope nothing dangerous happens soon.
The thing is Matt does not have an address. So where's he going to go?
Call him?
Matt, yeah, I know. He's going to have to pick up the phone and call, isn't he?
And with their grudges, I don't know if they're going to spill.
Well, I would definitely have Quinn call. Or ask Bailey to call. Hey, can you call them and ask them where location 3 is, please?
Have their people call my people.
Yeah.
We'll set it up.
And the new tape that was found. There's so much evidence, and I just want to know what's in it.
And that's part of the fun experience is the thrill of the ride to get there. Also, I want to let Artie know that everybody is voting for me for
I'm
subject for
watching them.
president.
I'm watching
They're also spelling my name wrong. Thanks, Artie. And
What
it's
am I doing?
Shades with an S. You called me Shade with no S. It's Shades.
Oh,
plural.
No, you're shaders. Shaders.
Yeah.
And you call me Artie.
I do call you Artie. It's out of affection, though.
Well, I call you shaders out of affection, so shut up.
Okay, fine.
So
We're gonna do this. You want to fight me right now?
I'll win because you don't fight girls.
This is true. I was raised better than that.
I'll pull out your dirty secrets. Don't even.
Don't
Shut
you
up,
dare!
Brandon.
Don't do this.
Shut up, Brandon.
Hey, if this is a democracy, then
Who said it was?
oh
This is a totalitarianism.
oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah.
You guys have lost me. I'm sorry. Shades
I
for
know.
president is just no.
It's unanimous. I'm the leader now.
If it's a democracy, Artemis would be president. Tyler, I'm sorry, buddy. There's a lot of people that think I'm Deb, though. I mean, I voiced Deb a couple of times, not in the official 863 project, but I voiced Deb in a couple of other projects. Matt would definitely choose neither of us.
No, he would never put either one of us in charge of anything.
He would choose Brandon.
Yeah.
My producer, he would choose Brandon.
I wouldn't even vote for myself. I tricked you all. I would vote for Siraxa.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll do Andrew, and we're gonna have to call it an evening. I know you just want to sit here and just talk all day. I know.
I do this all day, honestly. I love
Andrew,
this. This is my favorite thing.
I know it's fun. Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
Hi. How are? So, you have a theory or a question or an
I mean,
observation?
this is just my theory about the Phantom. There, in the camper, there was lots of information on like letters to West from Deb and all of that. And here's my theory about the person that injected the serum in them. I think that was West, because why would he need a mask? Because what Matt recently took was a paper that says the serum won't affect white blood cells, so maybe that has anything to do with the mask and the things that you need for it.
I know. The science babes were researching the white blood cell effect. Let me. So what you're saying is that the stalker is West, not the Phantom, or are you saying that they're both the same person?
Both the same person.
Both. So you think? Yeah, what everyone else is thinking.
Yeah, because who else would know the entire place in the back of their hand?
True, but again, it's not going to look like what they say. What they see right now. I mean, the studio that we know today is not what Syntech looked like back then, because it was, those walls are movable.
Right.
So, and it was all, that whole building was all connected at one point.
True.
Radiation therapy can also cause low white blood cell counts, which increases the risk for infections. So what was exactly said about the white blood cells?
Not entirely sure. I didn't actually look through it entirely. All I just heard was that it affects the white blood cells.
Well, radiation does. Radiation therapy does.
Yes.
What do you think, Shades?
The whole thing about the mask is, I think it's intended to be a more efficient way to ingest the serum. Now, whether he is inhaling it or it's actually plugged into his face and injecting it with needles, we have yet to figure that out. But the whole idea behind the cartridges and the mask is he needs more of this stuff, so he can't just keep injecting himself in the arms with needles. So he has to use this mask to get the massive dosage of this serum that he needs from taking it for so long.
Okay. Because it does say, I'm trying to remember what Deb, or I can probably pull it up. All the symptoms were marks on your arms, which could mean anything, though.
I'm assuming that it was insinuated that that was supposed to be injection sites on his arms from the serum.
Or it could be, like we talked about, B5187 had marks an allergic reaction to the injection site. So maybe the injection site is so... I'm trying to figure out what I'm picturing. I'm picturing something from a movie or a TV show or something where you add in an injection site, you get those like varicose veins that spread out.
Right. You know, injecting anything over a long period of time has adverse side effects. And, you know, that's kind of what's going on with the mask and the injections. And even with the big meat injection gun, when the stalker or the phantom, whatever you want to call him, broke in and injected himself, who could repeatedly do that over and over and over again? I couldn't. So I think the mask
diabetics
is just...
have to.
Yeah. I mean, but not with a big, huge meat injection gun. Squatter says not with that attitude you couldn't. And he says,
Freaking Squatter and his joke.
I love that dude so much. Like, I can't say enough about Squatter. He's an amazing guy. Amazing, genuine person. For those of you who don't know.
He did our artwork and he did it commission free, and he's freaking fantastic.
And he's going to hate me so much for this, but for those of you listening, go to crouchingbison.com and buy some posters. They are amazing. You will not regret it.
I bought 2 this week. And his immediate thing was to say, "I hate you."
Yes.
Instead of "thank you so much."
Yeah, he hates support for some reason. And we're going to post a link in the podcast lounge, so everybody
I posted the link.
Can go buy posters. They're amazing.
With your question, Andrew, white blood cells are what fight infections.
Correct.
So if you are getting an increase, so we'll do it this way, because when I watched the episode, it was on again, off again, and I didn't get to rewatch it because of Brandon's project. So I didn't get to really dive into that. If somebody knows the direct quote of the white blood cells, please post it in the lounge so we can know that. But basically, white blood cells fight infection. So if you have an increase of white blood cells, then you're fighting an infection. So when your doctor's looking through your blood when you're sick and there's an increase, it means that your body's trying to fight something. If there's a decrease, that can be very bad, because you always need to have a certain level of white blood cells at any given moment. And like even allergies can cause your white blood cells to fluctuate. So if we have a decrease of white blood cells, it could be because of the radioactive serum that they're using. So if the direct quote says that there's an increase, it means that the serum could be causing infections and therefore increasing the white blood cells. If the serum is causing low blood cells, then that's radiation therapy, basically.
Yeah.
So
well, if you look on the handwritten lab notes and the evidence list, it says serum characteristics. The very last item at the bottom is damage to white blood cells likely, which means the radiation is killing the white blood cells.
Yes. It's going to damage that. Well, radiation is going to damage any type of carbon-based life form.
Just like chemotherapy, when you have cancer, you take chemotherapy and it lowers your white blood cells because it's basically killing all the white blood cells along with the cancer cells, which
Yes. The only way we know how to fight cancer is basically by poisoning your body.
yes, by killing everything.
Yeah. Radiation bad.
I posted in the chat about the white blood cells. It's just about
Okay.
this serum characteristic.
Damage to white. Well, duh, because it's
Yeah.
radioactive.
Yeah.
It's corrosive, radioactive again. Fast moving, again, it's radioactive. Damage to white blood cells, likely, yes. Well, it says likely. She hasn't tested
Likely.
that, but if it is radioactive, corrosive, fast moving, you're going to damage your white blood cells. They need thicker gloves for this. Amen, rubber ducky. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Have
Have a good night. Okay. At least you have us in the podcast. Yes. I mean, honestly, like this is my hobby. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do. I do have a stressful job in real life, and it's always nice to just come. Like sometimes it's I'm too busy. Never feel like, okay, I'm going to make this very clear to you people. Never feel like that you think you are bothering me when you message me on Spellbound. If I'm busy, I won't answer right away, but I always try to answer back. There was a girl who was afraid to ask me to voice Deb in one of her projects. And she was all like, I don't want to bother her anymore. Anxiety. I'm like, never be anxious about asking me to do anything. Be a part of anything. This is what I'm here for. I'm like Shade keeps saying, Dad does not pay me to be here.
No.
Dad does not pay Shades to be here. Dad does not pay any of the moderators on Spellbound. We are there because we love A, the community, and B, we love the story.
Yeah. When he asked all of us to do this, to be moderators, there was no expectation for monetary reimbursement at all. We do this because we literally enjoy this community and this universe that has been built so much. And it's such an honor and such a privilege to be able to care for and nurture this community that we have watched grow from literally the first key video that was posted over 2.5 years ago until now. And it's just so special, and I feel honored to be a part of it. And I just want to thank Matt so much for giving me the opportunity, for giving all of us the opportunity to do this. And I appreciate it more than he or anybody else could ever understand. Thank you so much, Matt, for doing this for me and for all of us. You are amazing beyond words.
Matt, we're wrapping up the recording. The conversation does not stop here. There are other platforms. Definitely keep a lookout on Spellbound. We have Twitch. We have people on Twitch. We have people on doing podcasts. We have people on YouTube. We have other Discords that are going around. Go ahead, dive into them, dive on other aspects of the community, because I have a science background. Shade is a writer. Like, Shade is going to be more character development. I'm going to be more science development and medical, because that's where my science degree is in medicine. But like Comp Sci Girl is a computer scientist. So she's going to be more coding and stuff like that. So if we can all step into each other's shoes and see different points of view, that's what makes Subject 4 the best subject. Because there's many of us with many different points of view, many different backgrounds, and many different talents and, well, basically backgrounds to bring to the table. It's not just the Sam Woods and Matthias show. It's all of us. And we're all needed. Again, thank you, Shades, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Yeah, I told you it was fun.
Yeah, it's great. No, anytime you need me to come back, I will be more than willing to come back.
I will invite the Cowboy of Foam.
Oh my God.
I want to thank the Spellbound community for hosting us. I want to thank you, Braden, Nikki, KJ, Shelby, Dan, Justin, all the mods that are here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all the hard work that and the moderation that you guys put into this. Thank you, Subject 4, for being here, and you guys have a good night.
Subject 4.